he hurt you. You were bleeding, but strangely, you were the one who rushed to apologize. Not because you were wrong, but because you've always been the one trying to save the relationship, even if it meant losing parts of yourself in the process. At first, you thought you were strong. You told yourself, every relationship has its ups and downs. You said, maybe he's just tired. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. Maybe I was expecting too much. But slowly, those maybes became poison. They crept into your mind, making you question everything, even your own worth. He gets angry. You say sorry. He pulls away. You chase. He breaks you. You patch it up. Because deep down, you're scared that one day, he'll actually leave, and you'll be left alone, with wounds you never even got to admit were real. So you stayed. You convinced yourself it was just a phase, that this is what love looks like. That loving someone means accepting all their flaws, but you forgot. That loving someone also means protecting yourself. Over time, you stopped laughing. You stopped sharing stories. You started losing the little things that used to make you happy. Until one day, you sat in silence and realized you're not you anymore. You've become a shadow of yourself, always forgiving the pain, always finding reasons to stay, always hiding the tears behind a forced smile. And the saddest part is, you know it's hurting you, but you still stay, because you're not ready to face the loneliness that comes after. When love no longer brings peace, then it's not love. It's just attachment wearing a mask. You're not weak. You've just stayed too long in the wrong place. And no one ever taught you that sometimes loving yourself means walking away from someone else. Staying in a painful relationship doesn't mean we're stupid. Doesn't mean we're weak either. It means we're human, creatures wired to seek comfort. And sometimes that comfort is the very thing that's breaking us. Picture this. You've been hurt over and over again, yet somehow you keep going back. Why? Because the pain has become familiar. It's the same kind of pain that somehow makes you feel alive, even though it's the very thing that's slowly destroying you. We don't stay because of healthy love. We stay because of fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of losing the one who once meant the world to us. Fear of emptiness. A silence that somehow feels scarier than the constant ache we've grown used to. Love, it becomes the easiest excuse. I love them, so I have to stay. But what kind of love is that? The kind that makes you cry alone at night? The kind that makes you feel worthless? The kind that slowly erases your sense of self? So often we stay for the memories, the good ones that keep us tied, the moments that make us believe that maybe, just maybe, they'll come back as the person they used to be. We remember their laughter, their hugs, their sweet words. And when the pain comes back, we tell ourselves, they're not always like this. There must be a reason. We can change together. But that's the cruelest trap of all. The cycle of getting hurt, hoping, forgiving, and then doing it all over again. We stand in the middle of the storm, waiting for clear skies, when deep down, we know the storm was never going to pass. And even more than that, we stay because we think we have no other choice. The world outside seems cold and strange. Being alone feels too heavy. So in all that fear, we choose the pain we know over the unknown that scares us. But you know what? The deepest pain isn't heartbreak. It's losing yourself, bit by bit, piece by piece, as you keep trying to save someone who never once tried to save you. We forget that loving yourself also means letting go. It means facing the silence, facing the unknown, walking alone, even if you're afraid. Better to be alone in peace than together in endless pain. You don't have to stay just to keep hurting. You don't have to forgive until there's nothing left of you. Having the courage to say enough might just be the bravest and most important thing you ever do. For yourself, for your life. There's one thing we often ignore in relationships. Our own instincts. Deep inside your heart. Maybe you felt something's wrong, but I'm not sure. And so you stay silent. Because you're afraid of breaking everything. You're afraid of being seen as too sensitive. Or worse, you're afraid of losing them. But what's really happening is that little by little, you're losing yourself. A toxic relationship doesn't always come with loud fights or obvious abuse. Often, it's subtle, quiet. Before you know it, you're changing. And not because you're growing, but because you're surviving. Think about this. Sign 1. You constantly feel like you have to adjust yourself just to avoid making them angry. Little things like how you talk, how you express yourself, even something as simple as laughing with your friends. You start to limit yourself because you know the moment you step out of line, there will be an emotional explosion or a cold, cutting silence, and you just can't face it anymore. So you stay quiet. You give in. Sign 2. Every argument, you end up feeling guilty. Even when you didn't do anything wrong. They're very good at twisting things around. You come to share your feelings, but in the end, it's you who cries. You're the one saying sorry. And them, they say you're too much, too dramatic, when all you really want is to be heard. You just want to be understood. Sign 3. You start living in emotional fear, afraid to be honest, afraid to speak your feelings, afraid of being blamed or worse, making them angry. So you learn to keep it all inside. And when you cry at night, you tell yourself, this is just a phase. They'll change. But day after day, the pain stays the same. Sign 4. You lose connection with the people who once gave you strength. Friends you used to tell everything to now feel far away. Your family who was always there, now you barely talk to, because they don't like you being close to them. They say your loved ones don't understand your relationship. They say they're a bad influence. But really, they just want you alone. So you depend on them completely. Sign 5. You feel lonely, even when you're together. Their smile no longer warms you. Their hug feels like a formality. And every time you try to have a heart-to-heart, they avoid it. They laugh it off or say you're too sensitive. You start to close yourself off, and every day feels like walking on broken glass. This is not love. Love should help you grow. Love should make you feel safe, seen, and valued. If you have to hurt yourself just to stay, that's not love. That's a prison. And if you feel lonely while you're with someone, maybe you're better off alone. If you have to keep guessing whether you're loved, if you have to hold back tears every night just to look strong by day, if you have to lose yourself to keep someone around, maybe it's not you who needs to change. Maybe it's you who needs to go home. Go home to yourself. Sometimes walking away is the hardest thing we'll ever have to do in life. It's not because we don't care, not because we don't love, it's because we're scared. Scared of the unknown, scared of uncertainty, scared of the loneliness that might come. But think about this. What's a relationship worth if all it brings is pain? If it leaves you tired all the time? If it makes you feel invisible? Is that love? Or just dependency? Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means you're starting to love yourself. It means you're choosing real happiness. not the kind that hides behind quiet tears and fake smiles. Khalil Gibran once said, "Do not imprison a woman in your love. Let her be like a river flowing free, not a chain that binds her." Walking away means giving yourself space to breathe away from the pain that's holding you down, to breathe away from endless regret, to breathe so you can finally find who you really are. When you walk away, you might feel like you're losing something, but what you're really losing is the weight that's been holding you back. You've been a prisoner in a toxic love, and believe me, once you find the courage to step out, you're not really alone. There are people out there who want to see you happy, who are ready to welcome you with open arms. Walking away is one of the bravest things you'll ever do, because you're refusing to let the hurt grow any bigger, because you're choosing a better future, because you know there's a healthy love waiting for you, a love that won't hurt you, a love that helps you grow, and a love that brings out the best version of yourself. So, if you feel like your relationship only brings pain right now, don't be afraid to say enough. Don't be afraid to let go, because sometimes letting go isn't losing, it's finding yourself again. Walking away isn't weakness. Walking away is loving yourself, and you deserve a love that never makes you question your worth. Every ending always opens the door to a new beginning. If you felt trapped in a painful relationship, believe this: you have the strength to walk away. You have the right to be happy. Starting a new chapter isn't about forgetting the past. It's about learning from what you've been through, about honoring your wounds and your struggles, because without them, you wouldn't know how strong you really are, and you wouldn't know how valuable you truly are. Never hesitate to choose yourself. When you leave something unhealthy behind, you're making room for greater happiness. Remember what Khalil Gibran said: "Do not fear to begin again, for that is the chance to write a more beautiful story." When you start loving yourself more than ever before, the world will change too. Genuine people will come, and new opportunities will open up. And most importantly, start by forgiving yourself. Forgive the times you chose wrong. Forgive the times you stayed longer than you should have, because every step you take today is a small victory on the way to the life you dream of. Don't be afraid to start again, because inside you lies incredible strength. And this new journey is a beautiful story worth writing with all your heart. If this video touched something in your heart, maybe it's a sign you're not alone in your pain. I don't make these videos to preach, but to walk with you, to remind you that you deserve to be happy. If you'd like to keep walking this path together, you can click subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you won't miss the next story and reflection. And remember, you are worthy of love, not pain.